Kevin O'Leary has a dark past. Before we start, I would want you to hit that red subscribe button so you never miss out on any of our videos. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Film Fortune. Kevin O'Leary is a businessman from Canada whose estimated net worth is $300 million. He knows what it takes to build a brand, to make it happen, and to see your dreams turn into reality. He's been making it his business to do just that for many years now, and he is not afraid of a challenge. As the co-founder of both O'Leary Funds as well as SoftKey, he knows a thing or two about business. Here are some facts about Kevin O'Leary you probably didn't know. His parents are divorced. When Kevin O'Leary was a small child, his parents decided to divorce. They were experiencing some marital issues, and some might assume it had to do a bit with the fact that when O'Leary's grandmother passed away and left her store to his mother, she began to take over the business and work more hours than not. Either way, it was not long after his grandmother died that his parents made the decision to split up. He remained with his mother. His father died. Kevin O'Leary dealt with a number of significant blows when he was a child. It began with the dissolution of his parents' marriage, and then it became even worse. His father then passed away not long after the divorce was finalized.
I was about 7 years old when my father died.
It was a devastating time for a small child. Two difficult life situations that don't happen to many kids happened to him in a matter of a very short time, and he was very fortunate to come out of this type of situation as well as he did. Steve Jobs gave him a hard time. Back when he ran the Learning Company, O'Leary tried to work with Jobs to have him use his software on Macs in schools. Jobs was having none of it and was being quite adamant. After Jobs passed away, O'Leary wrote his memories of the businessman in a blog for the Huffington Post. He stubbornly refused to give me a cent and insulted me for daring to ask for his money. He was so adamant about watching his company's cash that he kept yelling profanities, even in the parking lot as I was getting into my car to leave. He ends the article by explaining what we can learn from Jobs' career, especially the fact that he wasn't in business to make friends. Steve Jobs had his critics. Some saw him as an egomaniac and others as a control freak. He would remember who on his team added value and who didn't, and he never apologized for his relentless, visionary drive, because he understood that business is about making money, not making friends. Like every CEO should, Steve kept a laser-like focus on creating value for his shareholders. As far as the Learning Company goes, O'Leary sold it to Mattel in 1999. He's part Lebanese. This is not something people tend to know about Kevin O'Leary, thanks to the fact that he is so often described as being Canadian. He is Canadian, but he is also part Lebanese. His maternal grandfather came to Canada when he was a young man after making the decision to leave his small village in Lebanon. After a time, he then married a woman who came from the same village in Lebanon as he did, and together they gave birth to 4 kids, including Kevin O'Leary's mother. That makes him part Lebanese. His wife and him almost broke up. In an interview, Kevin O'Leary once said that a divorce consumes the family wealth. He took his own example. He and Linda lived apart for 2 years and were at a point in life where they were this close to dividing their assets. Kevin has always advised couples going through a divorce to take a 90-day period apart from one another. This not only gives them time to cool off so they won't make any rash decisions about divvying assets, but it also just might reignite their desire to be with each other. The same thing happened to the O'Learys. He and Linda had decided to divide their assets, but before making the final decision, they backed out and chose to work on the problems instead. "We have reunited and kept the family together. I'm glad we did that," he said. He and his wife caused a fatal boat crash. A fatal boat crash on an Ontario lake had prompted a wrongful death lawsuit against celebrity businessman Kevin O'Leary and his wife Linda O'Leary, who was driving their vessel. In an untested and unproven statement of claim, relatives of Suzanne Brito, one of the 2 people who died in the collision, seek $2 million in damages from the O'Learys, as well as from the driver and owner of the second boat. The crash occurred on Lake Joseph in Seguin, Ontario. Late one night when the O'Learys' boat with Brito aboard collided with another boat driven by Richard Ruh, 57, of Orchard Park, New York. A Florida accountant, Gary Poltash, 64, who was on Ruh's boat, died at the scene. Brito, 48, a woman from Uxbridge, Ontario, was critically injured and died in the hospital. Suddenly and without warning, the O'Leary powerboat violently struck the Ruh powerboat, causing Suzanne Brito to suffer serious personal injuries, resulting in her death. The lawsuit, filed in Superior Court in Oshawa, Ontario, argues Brito's death was the result of negligence. Among other things, it argues Kevin O'Leary, 65, of Toronto, knew or should have known that his 56-year-old wife was incapable of operating the powerboat with due care and attention, but let her drive anyway, even though she had a propensity for speeding and had no license. This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any of our videos in the future. Also, watch the 2 videos that are on your screen because I'm sure you'll love them. With that, I'll see you in the next video.